All right, we are back at Ellendale, and of course, we're remembering Dr. Gerald Haydel, just well known and loved by many. Barry Williams joins me now, and I can't wait to hear what he's going to talk about. So many stories that y'all have that we always love to share about Dr. Jerry, and I can't wait to hear a few you have.
Well, when they asked me if I would consider this, the whole night I stayed up trying to figure out what I could say that was not R-rated. But I know so many wonderful things has been said about him already, and I surely cannot feel the wonderful things that was tribute to him. But I'd like to share a couple of little stories, in that I had the honor of being Dr. Jerry's barber for 50 years plus, and then he was cutting his boys' hair, and then he brought them over to me. So my relationship with them became more family than anything else. Right. And Dr. Jerry was bigger than life. He once he took a project on, it was going to be the biggest, the best that anybody's ever did. I remember when him and Richard Barker and Mr. Joe Waite started the barbecue at St. Francis, and it was the biggest barbecue that anybody's ever seen. Yeah. And Jerry had this unique way of coming to you and asking you to do something, and you just figured it was an honor that he asked you to do it, that he wanted to give you something that he trusted that you could carry it out, so you couldn't tell him no. Right. You know? And in Vanderbilt Fair, and I was in charge of the auction, and he was the first guy to do a casino. Right. WWL.
And maybe the last.
Well, he was, because even Channel 4 sent down people to, who heard of a church having a casino, you know?
They did at Vanderbilt.
Well, and he did well with it. Money. He did well. So that was his guy. And then I like to, I'm going to give you the skeleton out the closet. Okay. When he was doing his hair, he started getting gray. Yeah. He decided he wanted to color it. So the skeleton is Dr. Jerry was coloring his hair. And my daughter was his colorist. But he goes home with it, and Jean says, "What the heck did you do?" He said, "Well, you color your hair. I want to stay young looking too." She said, "No, we ain't going to have that." He said, "I'll quit if you quit too." And she said, "Well, when is your next appointment?" So that's Jerry, you know.
I saw him one time, and I think he had tried to do it himself a couple of times before.
Right.
Y'all
right.
Correctly, because I said, "Doc, you coloring your hair?" He goes, "How you know that, boy?" I said, "Because you got two different colors."
But boy, he loved he said, "Yeah, Gene's just afraid I'm going to look too younger than her. That's her problem."
but I mean, you're right. He had a way of being very disciplined and strict, and boy, could move forward with the project. But he had a fun-loving side too.
Oh Lord! I mean, I'm sure people spoke about the Redfish Rodeo in Grand Isle, hadn't it? And that was an event everybody wanted to be in. Was I there?
Bill's from both my dad. He was on the KP.
Oh, yeah. It was a saying. He had a way of attracting people to be all his Indians, you know. Right. And everybody loved doing it, you know. He really just, he was full of life. I want to share the main story personal story I had, that my wife and Jerry and Jean, we went to St. Stanislaus to visit some retired brothers. Wonderful, delightful visit. And then the next day was Father's Day, and we went to Mass at St. Stanislaus. And the priest asked all the fathers to stand. Then he said, if you have 2 or less children, sit down, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and Jerry 8. Jerry's still standing. He's looking around so proud because he was the only one. The priest said, "How many children you have?" 9. Wow. And the whole church applauded, and he was just saying, boy, he was like a gigantic peacock. You know, he couldn't, he was so proud of the fact that he loved his family so dearly. And after he said, "Barry, can you," you know, and everything was like in amazement after. if he did something, he was just amazing. do you realize that? You know? Anyway, and he said, I thought he was going to give me a present, don't I? A rosary, a prayer book, or something. So anyway, that's my.
I'm gonna tell you funny. My daddy told me when they would go to the fishing rodeo, they'd all go eat whatever restaurant y'all all ended up in, and Dr. Jerry would stop at the little hostess table, and he would slip the hostess some money, and he'd say, "I want you twice while I'm sitting down to page Dr. Jerry Haydel." So I said, "What?" So Daddy said, "All these big shots in a restaurant, and all of a sudden, paging Dr. Jerry Haydel, paging Dr. Jerry Haydel, you have an emergency." I said, "Why did he do this?" He said, it made him known amongst all these big shots. So Dr. Jerry knew how to market. He was a marketer.
He did. And it was amazing how many, it's an unheard of thing that he would actually have a state trooper lead the caravan of boats to Grand Isle.
He's a pioneer.
Oh, that's Mad was not around there.
No, and a lot of
we had to stop a couple of times.
I got to do this. We got to take a break. Once again, Barry Williams broke the news here on Bayou Time that Dr. Jerry used a little hair color. So look, don't get mad at me. You got to get mad at Barry, but somehow I think we all knew that.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, thank you, Barry. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a short break. We'll be back with more from Ellendale. Don't go away.